Welcome to Knights of Mandalore. I am Jared.
And I'm Lad.
And today we are talking about Bad Batch Episode 5 Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, I like how they play on to getting into it about how the Bad Batch now are acting like mercenaries, which I think is a really cool position to put them in.
Right.
Essentially, I think they became Star Wars A-Team.
Yeah, I know. It's like they're they get involved with the criminal empire a little too much. They're going to be,
They'll
turning
be
evil.
they'll show up in the Book of Boba. Oh, wait a sec. What if they show up in the Book of Boba?
They could. We have this, Fennec running around.
Wait, hang on. All right, so that takes place 30 years after this. We know that Rex was around in episode 6. Do you know how long from the end of episode 6 to Mando?
About 5 years, they said.
All right, so maybe it's possible.
Yeah, StarWars.com also said that Fennec now versus in Mandalorian, it's about 30 years for her. But so she's kind of new, but that's what they said in the episode, that she's a newer bounty hunter, but she's pretty, clever on her wits and stuff like that.
That's cool. All right. So I love how, so their little handler person goes, okay, here's what we're going to, so the episode starts off, they're going to find this contact that can help them find work. It's basically an old Jedi-like source. And I love how Omega again finds who this person is.
Yeah.
And then, so she says, okay, so I need you to go into this target and extract a certain individual.
Yeah, like Muchi, was it?
I think it's Muchi.
Muchi, yeah.
All right, well, anyway, so they go in, and I love how she's cryptic about who this job is for, but they reveal it later on.
Yeah.
So then they get there, and then immediately they get captured.
Right. I thought that was like, man, you guys are like supposed to be elite, soldiers, and then like 2 seconds in, and then they wiped out.
Not only that, wait a second. Hunter's enhancement is enhanced like senses, so he should be able. Nothing should be able to sneak up on him.
Yeah, he should be able to, smell a beast coming or tracking, but maybe he just got took by surprise.
Yeah, so they get captured, and Omega finds them because, of course, she never stays with the ship, no matter how many times Hunter tells her to. And then she finds out who Muchi is. It's not let me put it this way. It's very complicated. Lad, do you want to tell the fans who Muchi is?
Yeah, it seems like Muchi is not like some kid. It's actually Muchi's like an adolescent rancor, apparently.
Okay, this is really like interesting.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a second. And then so I was like, oh my gosh, this is not good. And the Rancor goes nuts and starts wrecking everything. And then a Wrecker, pun intended, shows up and gets into a fist fight with the Rancor, which was hilarious.
Yeah, that was really funny.
And what I liked is that the people from that one Clone Wars arc about the slavers, they returned.
Yes, we thought they were wiped out, but it looks like there's still a couple pockets of them around trying to rebuild the empire, Zagirian empire.
Yeah, and then so it's later revealed that they're doing this job for Jabba the Hutt, which makes me think: is this the Rancor that Luke kills in Episode 6? Is that Muchi?
It's a good question. It's possible that maybe he has multiple Rancors, but I feel like it is supposed to be kind of like, the same Rancors. So maybe it is, and maybe it isn't. But it's definitely possible.
In that case, man, this thing sure grows in 30 years.
Yeah, I know, right? It must grow pretty quickly.
Yeah. But I liked how they put a little more of an action-packed episode than last time, because last time was just a little high-speed speeder chase. This one was more on the ground with guns fighting.
Yep. They had some good combat going on there, and also just between different Bad Batch members. Tech as usual, pointing out some of the obvious
I love
things, but
that. Tech is one of my favorites. Just so he'll name some random thing that he knows will happen, and they'll go, "How'd you know that?" Tech, why didn't you say anything? He goes, "That was obvious."
Right. Yeah.
But I love how when Wrecker is battling the Rancor, he's getting tired. He's like, and then he
that was
just
pretty
collapses.
funny. Oh, that was good. That was funny. Yeah. And then the Rancor actually just like listened to what they said. Then just went along with them.
Yeah, which makes me even more think that maybe Omega is force sensitive because somehow she had a calming effect on this Rancor.
Yeah, it did seem like a little bit of that. Also, I was thinking that I wasn't sure if this was like a Rancor that just Bib Fortuna, whatever Bib was getting, and Fortuna. There you go. He was like ordering a new Rancor, but it seemed like he knew its name, so it's possible that maybe these Zygerians captured it from Jabba's palace or something like that. And then
obviously Jabba has a problem. Obviously, Jabba has a problem with people stealing his stuff.
Yeah,
the show started with his son getting kidnapped.
Right. This is his Rancor, because Bib was saying like Muchi, and he was like all friendly within it. It's not like they were taking the cage away. It's like Jabba's pet, and then maybe it was like, I don't know, having some free time out on the field, not being in its cage, and then it got captured or something, and now they did a job to rescue it. But you're right. This is a repeat of the original Clone Wars episode.
I'm like, Jabba, can you hang on for one piece of your for one thing? Can you hang on to one thing?
Yeah, dude. Actually, now that you remind me, we should actually see. Was it Rhoda? I think Rhoda the Huttlet or whatever. We should see, like, it should be like a teenager now, right? Like, I want to see that guy around.
That would be great. He shows up. Will be even better is if he shows up in the same episode as Ahsoka.
Yeah, that'd be funny. I mean,
where's Anakin? You want to tell him, or should I?
Yeah. Oh boy.
You don't want to be a youngling around that guy.
Oh no. Boy. You know what? There's a theory that, I mean, not a theory, but there's something that I've noticed again. When they were landing on the Ord Mantle or whatever, or when they were heading towards Zygerians, Wrecker had that headache again. Like, he was rubbing his head. Yeah.
I'm like, is he?
So
could it be that the chips are delayed with these guys, but they're slowly coming on, and Wrecker's the next one?
That's what I was starting to think. I think you're onto something there, because I think we've seen it once before, him acting like that. I'm not sure if it was Crosshair was like that also, but Wrecker, we know. I remember I think it was in the one where they crash land on that
on the moon. Yeah.
But the thing is, that one he actually like hit his head a little bit, but then it was sore. But it was a little sore. But in this episode, he was like rubbing his head, like didn't hit anything.
Well, if you notice in the episode Cornered, the bounty hunter hit him in the head again.
That's true. Yeah,
so it could be that. But yeah, that's an interesting observation.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it could just be like a thing that, like, he just always getting hit in the head and he's always sore all the time. But it did seem like they made a point of showing us that, So maybe it's something.
It keeps showing up. For at one point, you have to think, is this a thing?
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But
see on that.
Again, no episode with Rex. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God, show me more clones.
I feel like it seems like it's a little slow, but they're building towards things. Generally, season 1 of like the Star Wars animated, the Star Wars stuff is like a bit slower, and then it escalates from there. I know, like, most, just non-Star Wars shows, usually the first season 1 is always the best season, and it usually declines from there. But Star Wars shows usually start, okay, but then they get even better. Like, because, they start bringing in more characters, they start making more connections. Like, Rebels season 1 was really kind of sketchy. Like, some episodes were not that great, and I feel like
I agree.
it was really kiddie, you know, like especially compared to Clone Wars.
It
and
was
people being pissed off
clearly
with Clone
marketed
Wars
toward
canceled.
kids.
Right. But then like when season 2 started, they really escalated and you know the direction changed and it got like insanely good. Season 2, 3, 4 was incredible. So I think it's a little slow right now, but it's you know, it's beyond what Rebels was in its first season. So even if it's a little slow right now, I think season 2 is just going to be like really blow us away when we get there, you know?
Yeah. And I agree with Star Wars shows. The only, well, it typically, yeah, it's season 1 is the best and then it declines, or in Arrow, or in the case of the Arrowverse, seasons 1 through 2 are good. And then it just goes right down the drain with that. Where it's interesting going off of that. And the Flash, they just add in 8 new characters every season.
Yeah.
There's too many people on Team Flash.
Yeah. Too many people with powers that they really should be able to just have their own Justice League, honestly, with just the Flash family.
The Speed Force League.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I guess we're going to see that soon on the Flash, but...
It's like, okay, so who's on our league? Barry.
Yeah.
No. They're different characters. Do they have the same powers as Barry? Yeah. Barry. All right, anyway, back to Star Wars. But here's the thing. In the trailer for the
even
series,
Clone Wars...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to put in also that even Clone Wars got even better with the Force lore. And then, you know, season 6 and 7 having insane, the inhibitor chip lore in it. So really that the Star Wars shows always improve with more seasons. But yeah, continue with what you're saying.
Yeah, but I definitely agree with you, by the way. It's because Clone Wars was already a perfect show, and then they added on season 7.
Yeah.
Season 7 was like, okay, that's it. Star Wars wins.
Yeah.
Except for the 3 Martell sisters, but that's beyond the point.
I thought they were kind of, I kind of like liked the characters, but not necessarily for Star Wars. Like I thought they were kind of funny. If they didn't waste episode count with them, I actually thought it would be like a funny like side story. Just the characters were kind of funny, but just not for Star Wars.
If it were a one-off of 1 episode, I would have been fine. But the fact that they devoted 3 episodes,
no, it was 4.
Already short, 4 episodes. This already short season. I was like, get to the frickin'. But besides the point that they're also releasing this weekly, so it's like, oh, another episode with the Martell sisters.
It was a bit unfortunate, especially because there's
what they should have done is had 4 episodes where Ahsoka goes to different places and sees, oh, these people don't trust the Jedi. Different people.
Yeah, it's a bit sketchy.
Yeah, but anyway, so back to Bad Batch. So I personally enjoyed the episode. I think my favorite part is when Wrecker fights the Rancor when he's getting tired.
Yeah.
What was your really favorite good part?
I think my favorite part was probably, man, there's a couple of good ones. I think I liked how it was a little scene there where, Omega was trying to break, open the cage. And then it seemed like they caught her, and I thought like, oh man, it was so close, and they got to think of another way to get out. But then she was like trying to free your rank or our monster, and it's like, no, I already let it out, and she shows she has the lock already. Like I thought that was a really good scene there, and then like the whole like chaos that ensues, and Wrecker just rips off all
he just tears off his collar. He's stuff.
Like, that was really good. I like that.
Yeah, I definitely. That's my second favorite part. I definitely enjoyed that. I also love. Yeah. Do you think they're gonna play off of we still don't know who hired the bounty hunter to get Omega? Because they keep hinting at. They keep like protecting the identity of this person.
Right. That is kind of interesting that we don't really know who's hunting or who's trying to hunt down Omega, and it's not like the Bad Batch. I mean, we know Crosshairs is probably going to go looking for Bad Batch eventually, right? But Omega, who's trying to hunt her down? I mean, obvious, the Empire doesn't really know about her. We know Kaminoans talk about that. So it's really only the Kaminoans or someone else. And I feel like the Kaminoans is a little too obvious, like I feel like they would, just for us as the viewer, I think it'd be too obvious it was just the Kaminoans. And also for the Bad Batch members themselves, I think they would have discussed like, oh yeah, I mean, Omega came with us. Maybe the Kaminoans hired a bounty hunter to come and get her. Like, I feel like that might be a little bit, they would have mentioned it if it was a possibility. So maybe it's someone else.
Oh, by the way, so according to comicbookreview.com, Muchi is not the Rancor from Return of the Jedi.
I see. Just
Right.
one of the Rancors.
One of the Rancors. So yeah, it makes sense that Jabba would have like a lot of Rancors.
Yeah, it might be a little too young to be the same Rancor, but yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's 30 years, so it is possible,
That's
but
true.
still. All right. So anyway, yeah. So let's see. What else? What else can we talk about here?
I liked we saw the little bit of battle between the the little lizard creature and then the Moki or was it Muchi?
That was so cool. Muchi. That was such
Muchi,
a cool creature.
Yeah, that was cool. It was like a little
I would like
Godzilla
flapped and flew. Godzilla versus
Yeah.
Kong. All of a sudden, a robot version of Muchi's gonna show up.
Yeah, exactly.
Mecha
Muchi. Yeah. No, that I liked seeing like a younger Rancor. That was like really cool to see. Just like they're pretty destructive even at that age, like
Yeah.
But that was cool. And seeing Bib Fortuna was cool too.
It's because they're still they're still big creatures.
Right.
So
yeah,
it's not
true.
it's not like it's just there.
I think you're right. I'm wondering, like, do you think Omega, because Omega got like the little the little communicator device that she was playing around with, but do you think that she's gonna get like her own like uniform to wear with the rest of the squad eventually, like a small uniform?
Could be. By the way, speaking of that, I love how she painted her action figure as a Bad Batch person.
I like that too. Yeah, she's like, I gotta customize this, and she customized it to make it the same as them, but also she said that her action figure was a girl trooper, which I thought was kind of cute. That like she's like, oh yeah, girl troopers also, they don't all have to be just dudes, even though most of the all the clones.
Even though
in
dudes, clones they kind of do.
Yeah, if they're clones, they have to. They are like that. But I thought it was kind of cute.
That's
that
why
she
I
also,
swear
like, sees
I
it
am
as
going to
herself.
explode if they say she's an actual clone of Django. I'm gonna be like, are you kidding me?
I think you could do female clones. They just don't normally do it, I guess.
Because here's why.
Oh yeah.
Because we've never have we seen a female clone of Django.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, female clones are, I don't know if they're possible, but I mean, X-23 is a female clone of Wolverine, right?
That's Marvel, and they modified the DNA. I mean, I guess that they could modify the DNA, but hang on.
I mean, I mean, probably more of like a daughter, as opposed to like a of a clone. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but I think it's okay because I'm pretty sure it'd be, there's something more to her than just being a female Django, Jenga. Her name is Jenga.
Jenga, and that's her favorite game. She has an affinity for towers.
Yeah. Also, I thought Boba Fett was gonna show up in this episode, but I guess not.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. He meets Omega.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time.
It's only a matter of time. But yeah, so let's see. What else can we talk about?
I think the Sid character was kind of interesting.
Yeah, she was
like
cool.
She was cool. She was like a Trandoshan, but she was like shorter than most of them. She had a funny voice. I like the voice actor. Apparently, I saw
from Cheers
that she's from Cheers. Yeah, it was like it was a unique voice for Star Wars, I think.
So
that was good. I like how it was kind of scary at the very end. She's like, you guys have to be high profile targets to be having someone like Fennec coming after you. And then Hunter
Yeah.
turns around and it's like, hey, I'll keep your secret,
Mm-hmm. But you think that Sid's going to be like a recurring character because she's kind of like their handler when it comes to bounty hunting jobs?
It could be. I feel like it'd be someone we see, every now and then. Maybe like kind of like the Hondo maybe of this.
I want Hondo to show up.
I really want Hondo.
Please bring Hondo.
We don't need them to rush the cameos though. We'll have plenty of time. We saw seeing the Zygerians again was kind of cool. Seeing them running around. So I think that's good for now.
Mm-hmm.
But
again, we didn't even see the Queen Zygerian from Clone Wars. So
I know, right? She died in the episode, I think. But maybe they have a new queen. Yeah,
well, we didn't see anyone from that arc.
Right. Yeah, I think they're mostly wiped out. The Zygerians.
All right.
But
so
I guess
what were you gonna ask?
Yeah, I was gonna say I've got a question for you. What do you think Crosshair's story is gonna be? Like, is he just gonna be really just training these troops, or is he gonna hunt them down eventually, or are they gonna try to come and save him? Like, what do you think they're doing with Crosshairs?
I think they're gonna come and save him because if you notice, Tech was working on that machine that can help them study the inhibitor chips.
Right.
So what they're probably figuring is that if we can study the inhibitor chips, we can shut them down. And I think Crosshairs is going to be the first one they shut down to prove that they can do it. Then they take that concept to Kamino and then release all the clones. And then we get the clone rebellion.
That'd be really nice. That's something I never really thought about, that they get to see a redemption arc for all the clones, kind of. Because we realized with season 6 and 7 that the clones, well, really with season 6, we found out that, the clones were being forced to turn evil. They didn't all just turn against their masters and betray them. And we just kind of accept the fact that's so tragic and sad, but maybe can be a redemption arc where they're actually freed from that,
Yeah, because that was a big plot hole in episode 3 where like Palpatine shows up and goes, Commander Cody, execute Order 66. And Cody's like, okay. Like what?
Say no more.
What? I've been waiting for this so long.
Like, yeah, what? I know, right?
You just automatically do it. No one's questioning. You've served with this guy for like 4 years, I think is how long the Clone Wars lasted.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, and then when I find out about the inhibitor chip, I'm like, okay, that makes much more sense.
Yeah, that added so much layer to the whole Star Wars story. That's like incredibly cool.
Plus, speaking of that, I love how at first we had the Ahsoka novel that was supposed to explain that, like, oh yeah, after Fives got killed, Rex had his chip removed. And then the Clone Wars arc comes out and they're like, nope, that did not happen.
Yeah.
Even watching that, I was like, the hell, you're supposed to have it out.
Right. And the Ahsoka novel, yeah, it was a slight kind of retcon from the Ahsoka novel, but I mean, I think it's understandable. I mean, to make the story cooler, because I mean, we never thought we were going to get a final season of Clone Wars like 6 or 7 years later. So I think for the most part, the book, the Ahsoka novel was just like the intros. So, maybe the details are a little hazy there. I think it's okay for the canon.
Still works. All right. Plus, as we know, so we run a comic book podcast. As we know from comic books, that the plots get convoluted all the time. What's canon? What's not canon? What's canon? What's not canon?
Yeah, they actually changed. It was kind of a big discussion because they actually changed Kanan's origin a little bit in that first Bad Batch episode.
Yeah,
because they released comics for how he survived Order 66 after Rebels started airing, and it happens on the same planet, and it's mostly a similar story, but
the Bad Batch is not there.
The Bad Batch isn't there, and it was also at night during like already like a peace, like they were just like at a campfire as opposed to being in combat. So slight details were changed, but for the most part, it doesn't really change the canon, too much. The story is for the most
The
part,
basic plot is there.
right. For the most part, Lucasfilm has been really, really good about making sure all the comics, books, TVs, and movies line up with each other in their new canon. I mean, because that's at least the one benefit of the EU being removed, is that there are some different layers of canon that were sometimes questionable, seeing how things fit together. But at least
What they
they're
could
making
have
sure it's
done
good.
is just gone through it, audited, and said, okay, so this, but they took
Mhm.
out everything, including the
Yeah.
stuff people actually cared about, like Darth Revan. He's up there
Yeah.
on my shelf.
It's only a matter of time, Apprentice, until they canonize him again.
Yes, it's only a matter of time. Saint Revan.
Yep. Oh boy.
You said canonize, so
yeah, that's true. That's true. It's true. Okay, so now we got, this was episode 5, which makes me think that we're really early on in the show. Honestly, like extremely early on. Like we don't even, I think we have at least like, I think 10 more episodes or so. We could really see like the season start to shift in a different direction. Like, they need some of these earlier episodes to develop the characters a bit, which is okay. And I think these will be like episodes you go back to and it's like, oh yeah, this kind of like fun episode before like things got serious, So we'll have to see how the direction of the series goes. You know what I kind of miss though? Something I kind of wish they would do is at the end of the episode show like a short teaser for the next episode, like they used to do on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, or start teasing a little, like when Rex is showing up, he puts on his armor. It's like every tease is like an episode, and then he finally shows up.
He's like, fine, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, exactly. Before he puts on his helmet, he's like, fine, I'll do it. No, it's Cody going after the Bad Batch. He's like, fine, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
That'd be great. That would be so great.
I always distinctly remember, like, the episode of Clone Wars was really cool, but then when we got a little teaser, like it was like, what, 20 seconds or something like that for the next episode, just to like, kind of like, intrigue us, get us involved, like, oh, what's going to be, kind of speculate what's going to happen next. And I think Rebels did the same thing where they showed a little trailer. I think we really need that for even though it's on a streaming service, just have a little.
It's still coming out separately.
Right.
Next time on the Bad Batch.
Yeah, exactly. A little something just so you can get hyped up for it. That would be really nice. I think that'd be
because they do a recap before each episode, so it's not like that. It's not like it's really that hard,
right? And they've already made the entire series. They're just airing it now weekly. So maybe some critique for season 2 that they should have next on the Bad Batch would be really hype.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. I forgot it was so long. I forgot Clone Wars seasons were like long, because I'm used to like Mandalorian where it was like 8 episodes. Heck, I remember we just had Falcon, Winter Soldier, and WandaVision, like shorter seasons, and this is like 15 episodes.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of funny because we've gotten used to a lot of short seasons. Like a lot of these like higher production quality shows go with like short seasons or like 13 episodes or something like that. And I feel like it's cool. I kind of miss like when we had lots of episodes, but I guess it's just, the sacrifice you have to make. I mean, you do have to give the CW one credit, is that they are able to make a like 23 episode season. That's their episodes are like, it's on an hour-long TV block. Right. It's an hour-long TV block with, and they have, all their shows have multiple seasons with, just about, the Flash. And yeah, they have a lot of random characters and episodes, but they're able to fill up that content at least, decently well with at least the overarching story is also really impressive. I think that's something that I have to give them credit for, because it would be a lot easier to make the show more focused for like a CW show, because if they did 13 episodes or 10 episodes in a season like Marvel does, or like what Clone Wars final season was, but the fact that they have to do 23 episodes there's a lot of content, but you have to water it down. It can't always be like the most epic thing every episode.
Personally, I think they owe me four extra episodes of Clone Wars because of the Martez sister arc. Give me those other lost episodes, because we know there are more because we've seen the animatics.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to, maybe like on a bonus episode, maybe like this week or next week. I actually want to cover all like the episodes that were supposed to come out that we never got.
Really good idea. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy that because I knew about them kind of, but I feel like a lot of people don't. And I checked out Wikipedia, and they actually list there all the different articles that Dave Filoni had mentioned, and they have basically a complete list of everything that we were supposed to get, but it was just cut out for time. So I think that'd be the episode that'd be really fun to cover.
Didn't the Bad Batch start off as one of those lost episodes, like the first couple?
Yeah, they were originally a special episode like that. Yeah.
There was a moment when because I watched the animatic before I watched season 7 of Clone Wars. Right. So there was a second there when the Bad Batch shows up, and I'm like, are they just going to use the Republic Commando character models and then they're going to change it at the last second? Or are they just using them as placeholders? And then when the actual episode plays and they come out of the ship, I'm like, oh yes, it's staying.
That's awesome.
Jeez, let's see what else. You think that what would be kind of cool is if we get Echo talking about Domino Squad.
Yeah.
He's talking about his old squad.
I saw some people joking about that online, that we haven't seen Echo react to Five's, dying.
Yeah, I know. It's like, what?
It's what?
Maybe, wait, maybe Rex tells him and goes, Five, find him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Let's see. But yeah, that's a great idea to talk about the missing Clone Wars episodes. Mm-hmm. The only ones I'm aware of are the Bad Batch ones, and then there's one where like Anakin and Obi-Wan talking about Ahsoka leaving the Order. That's it.
So do you even know about some of the? Do you know what the ones that were adapted into comic books, the Darth Maul arc in the comic books? And
I don't necessarily know the story of those.
I see. Yeah, and then they also, I think we talked about the Asajj Ventress novel that they did with Quinlan Vos. But
did they fall in love, and then I think Vos got Asajj Ventress got killed.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's an example of the timeline not lining up. In Solo, I know because I recently saw that episode. So when Lando first meets Beckett, he goes, the guy who killed Asajj. No, actually, he said the guy who killed Aurra Singh. All right, I was a little confused on that.
All right, yeah, there you go. Yeah, we could see Aurra.
That's interesting, and Buck and the other guy, because they haven't shown, because as far as we know, they're there.
Yeah,
and Solo takes place obviously way before Episode 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could see. You know what? I think we could definitely see Beckett in an episode. Because he'd be like a bit younger now. He'd be 10 years younger, like more in his prime Beckett. Woody Harrelson in Star Wars.
Yeah, what I think they should do at least is since the Bad Batch are going to be like mercenaries, they should bring in a lot of those lawless characters. Like maybe we'll see what's the name of the guy of like the crime boss from Solo?
Drayden Voss.
Yeah, because he showed up as a hologram in Clone Wars, if you remember.
Yeah, they did squeeze him in there. So, I forgot that that Maul's on the loose, right? Maul's
that is true.
So it'd be nice to see kind of a little bit of what's his criminal empire, and then how he eventually ended up like losing everything by the time of Rebels and stuff. They
found him on. Where did they find him?
Malachor.
In Rebel on Malachor? Okay.
Yeah, he was just like just he tried to go looking for the Sith temple and just got lost and stuck there for like a while. But he must have lost like his crime syndicate somehow. But it'd be kind of cool to see. It'd be kind of cool to see him running around doing something.
Yeah.
Maybe if they introduce some, maybe you know, it'd be really cool if in an episode, probably be more like season 3 or something, that they encounter him and he tricks them into thinking that he's a Jedi survivor, but it's he's actually a Sith instead. You know, and then
that would be interesting.
And he's like, I need help with this, you know, mission, and then they betray. You know, also he betrays them eventually.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it also leads to a death of one of the Bad Batch members.
Oh man, that'd be tough. I mean, it's something we discussed
because we know that that when Maul betrays you, he takes something from you. He took Kanan's sight.
Yeah, he does seem to have a habit of doing that, eh?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's something that needs to be addressed. Is that like the Bad Batch is not like safe, you know? Like these aren't characters that we know where they're going. So really, anything could happen to them. I mean, they already said they took out Crosshairs in the first episode. You know,
took out air quotes.
Yeah, basically turned him evil in that first episode. So I mean, they could kill a character off. I mean, it'd be really sad, but I mean, it's possible. I mean, who knows? I mean, Dave Filoni's a madman.
Yeah, and he is the chief creative for Lucasfilm. Yes, our Lord and Savior Filoni is in charge.
Yep.
All right, so I was going to ask where you think Bad Batch is going, but I don't think anything really has changed. It's not like they made like a big reveal.
Right, and the only thing they learned is that the person's name, which isn't too, I don't think too useful for them, you know.
Yeah, and we already knew what that is. Yeah.
Yeah, we already knew.
Let's see. I'm trying to think what else can we talk about here if you just want to call it.
I just something I wanted to briefly mention was how in the, I believe it was the Cornered episode, like last one, something I noticed, and also in the old episodes, Wrecker, when he doesn't wear his helmet, he puts it on top of his head, and I think it's so funny looking.
That's it's so good. It's a hat.
It's a hat, and it just reminds me of when in the Lego Star Wars games when Chewbacca puts like a stormtrooper helmet on, it just sits on top of his head because it doesn't
sideways
fit.
And somehow that works.
Right, I think that's what it reminds me of. It just makes me think
so good.
It looks kind of silly like a hat, and I think it really fits with his character.
I never thought of that. That's now whenever I look at that, I'm gonna have that image in my mind of Lego Chewbacca with the stormtrooper helmet on his side.
It's what it reminds me of. Oh, dude,
that is so good. Thanks a lot. Now I can never take that seriously.
Yeah.
It'd be hilarious if he has to disguise himself again and he has the hat.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, that's
so good. All right,
that's
so
funny.
Great. Yeah, that's definitely true. I enjoy that. That happened in the Aftermath episode, the first episode when they first get into the hangar and they find the gear. He puts the helmet directly on his forehead, kind of.
Yeah.
Where's my Lula?
Oh man, yeah, that was funny.
All right, I think that's a good place to call it. There's not really that much to talk about in this episode.
Yeah, it was a fun episode though. It was good. It was good, even if it didn't. You know, we didn't see too much plot progression. It was, you know, a solid episode. A lot more action.
I enjoyed it. Let me this way. I didn't hate it. It was a fun episode. It's still up there. I'd say about 8 to 9 out of 10 if I had to rate it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'd agree with that.
Which on average, I would say that applies to the entire series. The whole series is great.
Yeah. There hasn't been like a bad episode yet.
It's not like Clone Wars season 7 when we had 4 in a row.
Yeah.
And then they went and then they were like, okay, I'm sorry we gave you crap episodes. Here is the Siege of Mandalore.
Yeah. Oh boy, that's good.
All right. So, all right, everyone. Have a good day. Have a good Memorial Day. Thank you to all of you. To all the soldiers. And we'll always remember those who didn't make it home. And Remember, hand shot first.